Many of you no doubt are anticipating the end of the week, but this Friday isn't just any Friday. Of course, it's Friday the 13th, and as usual, the Old Idaho Penitentiary will be holding a special event to get you in that Friday the 13th mood. And joining me this morning is Amber Byerly from the Old Idaho Pen. Amber, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And this date, April the 13th, is pretty significant for Idaho. Tell us why.
Yes, 61 years ago on Friday the 13th, 1951, there actually was a double execution, Idaho's only double execution that occurred, in which Troy Powell and Ernest Walrath were executed.
And so you kind of brought some props here. Troy Powell is in there once we can get a shot of that picture there, but Absolutely. Tell us about the props that you brought.
Basically, you know, I brought the ball and chain because who doesn't think of the ball and chain when they think of prison? And this one's actually a special one. This is probably one they would have used when they were working, a little bit more mobility there. Nothing's better than a shiv or a shank, which were common.
Some weapons there.
Of course, yeah, common during. And we will have some of these artifacts on display. Actually, some contraband items as well as some escape material. Lots of different things to do on Friday night.
And so will tonight kind of focus on the Troy Powell execution and that sort of thing? You
know, in our guided tours, we will have guided tours available between 6:30 and 8:30. It is first come, first serve, but those will go over a lot of the history with the execution, and then of course just the general history of the old pen as well. And you can ask all sorts of, you know, interesting questions if you have the questions about the spooky things that happen too. But yeah, so the guided tours will be going on. We will have the artifacts on display, some activities for the kids as well. So there's something for everyone.
And you said for the kids, so go ahead and tell us what people need to know about that. Is there a certain time for kids, or how does it work?
No, it is open for kids. We recommend ages 10 and up just because some of the things in the guided tours can be a little bit disturbing. We are talking about executions and things like that. So we recommend it for 10 and up. The activities will involve finding our prison cat, Dennis the cat, so who was a real cat actually. So definitely some things to do for them all night long.
Okay, and so what do people need to know about the time and where to go and how to get tickets and that sort of thing?
Yeah, we're open 6 to 10. All the tickets are at the door. Our last admission is 9 o'clock, so just folks need to get there before 9 o'clock. And then, of course, like I said, the guided tours will start on the half hour between 6:30 and 8:30, and it is first come, first serve. So if you want one of those guaranteed tours, you need to come probably a little bit early.
And so just for some history here, for Troy Powell, I know we saw that picture, hopefully everyone saw it, but how were those executions taking place back then, 1961?
You know, all the executions at the Old Idaho Penitentiary were by hanging.
Okay.
So those were also by hanging. We do have some of those artifacts will be on display as well. A little bit more macabre, but so maybe shelter the kids from that one, or at least talk to them about it a little bit before you come. But those will be on display, and they were actually the two youngest inmates that were ever executed. They were 20 and 21, so
wow.
So very young.
Okay, and so you guys, but this is not the only, I guess if you don't make it out tonight, this is not the only Friday the 13th. There's not that many of them in a year, but you guys do it every Friday.
We do it every Friday the 13th. Normally there's only one a year. This year there's 3. There's actually 3. Okay. We've already had one event. There'll be another one coming up in July that's a little more geared towards a paranormal investigation, but this is going to go a lot into the history and whatnot, so definitely a good chance to come out and see things.
All right, Amber, thank you so much for joining us and for bringing all this interesting stuff.